and you would have stayed consistent on it, dude, then imagine the amount of where you would be right now. It's incredible, dude. It's incredible. But Chewy, it's crazy, dude, because if you guys have heard our first episodes, me and Chewy and myself mentioned our backgrounds and how we're best friends, and we're a group of 3 friends that are very close knit, even though we don't live in the same city, we don't see each other every day. But I don't know if you've even seen it, dude. Even within our own group, the dynamic has kind of really changed to where, as before, we would just complain a lot, like, about everything, dude. And now it seems like, we're not perfect. I'm the first one to say it. I'm not this ball of positivity that walks around every day being, a guru of positivity.
We have our days. We have our days when we're freaking down.
Yeah. But the awesome part about this, dude, is that you're not alone in that journey of being more positive. Correct. Because you have other people telling you, you're good, don't worry. It's always affirmation. And in order to think positive, you need to have that affirmation, dude. You need to look yourself in the mirror every morning. You need to tell yourself, I'm one bad mother. I am the best at what I do. I am good enough. I can do it. Why not me? It's hard for something like this. First of all, it's so hard to put yourself out there to the public and go on YouTube. That alone is freaking hard, dude. I was so nervous because you're exposing yourself to everybody, right? And the second piece of that, dude, is starting up a new channel from 0 subscribers and not seeing that freaking subscriber count move up.
Correct.
Doing a video where you put all of your effort, you put all of your energy, you stay up late on a Monday night to record this after a long ass day at work, and you give it your full 100%, and you see 3 views, 5 views. And then you click on your favorite podcaster, your favorite YouTuber, your favorite vlogger, and you see what they're doing, and you're looking at millions of views, and you think to yourself, is it even worth it? Like, will I ever get to that point? But back to the affirmation piece is, in that moment, you have to tell yourself, I will be there one day. Whether it takes me 6 months or it takes me 6 years, as long as I put my part into it. And that's one thing that me and you both agreed on. If we're going to do this, we're going to be consistent. Regardless of what we see, we're going to be consistent and we're going to do it. So I just think dude, procrastination is one of the biggest enemies to this. And I think really doing things the right way, affirmation, having that group of people that you can rely on that will also hype you up when you can't hype yourself up, that's big, dude.
Correct. And we, like we mentioned right now, dude, we have our days, right? We're not always like positive. Of course, we're human beings, and sometimes we have shitty days at work. Sometimes even our families are not aware that we had a shitty day at work because we don't want to bring that energy from work to home, right? But your support system is going to be key in order for you to like not master the law of attraction, but to actually accomplish something with the law of attraction. And right now that you mentioned the YouTube, right, and everything, it was so freaking weird, man, because like I want to say like 3 days ago, I actually went back to my first podcast. And back then, guys, I was not even recording myself. I was just talking to the microphone. And I will remember that I will woke up every single day at 5 a.m. to record, because that was when my house was like completely silent, right? But you can even tell in my voice that I was super stressed and I was like nervous, and I was like, dude, it was not me, right? And now I look into this podcast and I'm like, dude, like you are a different Chewy recording everything, right? But when Mike talks about confirmation and about that you have to do your part too. I don't know if you guys, if not, I really encourage you guys to go follow this dude. It's called Peter McCannon. He is one of the YouTubers that I follow a lot. He's more into photography and videography, right? But here's the interesting thing about that dude. He grew his channel from 0 followers to thousands in a year. Okay. And one of the things that he said, it was like, you know what, dude? It's because I was putting my 100% or more, even when I had 1 subscriber. Now that I have 5 million subscribers on my channel, right? And then number 2, he mentioned like, dude, I never said, or I never thought to myself, dude, when I accomplish like my 5 million subscribers, I'm gonna do this. No, his thought process was, and still is up to this time, now, you know what, dude? Because I have a YouTube channel, I'm going to do this for my followers. And you know what, dude? I'm going to do this because I'm already a YouTuber. And it's so funny because I used to hate that word, dude, YouTuber. And now, once again, the law of attraction, how it works, right? Now at work, they know that I have a podcast. They know that I have a podcast with you. And they are being like, calling me and texting me like, hey, Chewy, what's the name of your podcast again? I'm about to go to the gym and I want to listen to it when I'm doing my cardio. So and I was awesome, like, oh, cool. Thank you. We appreciate that. Right. But little by little, like we are getting there. I got the feedback from our previous podcast from, I know you remember this name, Mike, from Charlie Brown, one of the managers that we used to work with. He was like, hey, dude, you know what? Great episode, dude. I really enjoy it. And those are the little things that help us, at least helps me as well. Like, dude, we are on the right freaking track. It's just a matter of time to keep doing this and be consistent of what we're doing. That way, and once again, guys, when it comes like from my part, right? Like, I'm honestly not doing this for anyone out there, but for ourselves. Because we actually want to take this to the next level. But we already have that mentality like, hey, dude, no matter what, we want to take the podcast to a different level. And that's a freaking mentality. And we're not going to stop, Mike. I know we're not going to stop. But once again, guys, that's the law of attraction. Dude. Yes, we might have 5 subscribers right now on the freaking channel. Yeah, I know. But I know, and quote me on this, guys, a year from now, we're going to be laughing at, hey, Mike, do you remember when we just had 5 subscribers in the channel?
Yeah. Dude, and here's where and I know it sounds corny and it sounds cheesy, but here's where the power is. As you're talking right now, dude, even as you're talking, I don't know if you feel it, but it's a different energy, dude. I feel like a different energy. It's a different dynamic, and I don't know how to explain it, guys. You have to really, when you start talking about your goals, when you start doing things towards your goals, that is going to push you to do it because you have that momentum. You have that momentum and you're going with it. And you know that this isn't just something that you just, maybe it'll hit, maybe it won't. You know for a fact that it's going to hit. From day one, I told Chewy, dude, this thing is going to go big. I know it is. I know for a fact it is, dude. And we have to get better, yes, and you grow. And this isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea, dude. Not everybody is going to like us. Not everybody is going to agree with what we talk about. Not everybody is going to watch us or subscribe to us. But the fact that we are already putting it into the atmosphere, that alone, dude, that alone is huge. So let's talk about this, Chewy. What are some things that you do, and what are some tips that you can give people that say, I want to start getting into this path of having more positivity and really putting that positive energy out into the universe?
So, look, it's going to be super corny, dude, and it's going to be like, maybe you guys are going to be like, oh, this is so stupid, dude. Like, I cannot believe this guy is doing this every single morning, right? But first of all, I wake up every single day at 4:30 or 5, right? And that's something that I actually it's one of my goals. Like every single day, wake up early.
Dude,
And
I'm
once
gonna cut
again,
you off. I'm gonna cut you off really quick, just
yeah,
to put things in
go ahead.
perspective, dude. Right now, guys, it's 10:30 p.m. as we're recording this.
Correct.
And keep in mind what Chewy said. He wakes up at 4:30 in the morning, which means that this morning he woke up at 4:30. It's 10:30 p.m. right now, and we're recording this. That shows you the amount of energy that we're putting into something that we're passionate about and how bad we want it. Okay, sorry. I just had to put that into perspective.
No. And you're good, my boy, because probably we're going to go another, I want to say 30, 40 minutes talking about this podcast. So by then it's going to be 11. Now, here's the crazy stuff, guys. I still have to record for my channel. So probably I'm going to stay up until around 1:30 in the morning. And then I'm going to wake up at 4:30. Right. But that's number one. And the reason that I wake up that early, it's because I can go ahead and accomplish more. I go to the gym, come back, take a shower, and start editing my pictures for my clients, my videos, right? But by then, it's already around by 7:30 and 8. But most people are barely waking up. And I already accomplished 3-4 things that people are not even aware of. So I'm already ahead of the game, right? But here's the most important thing, guys, for me. As soon as I wake up, right, I do my bed. That's the first freaking thing that I do. Now, let me tell you the why. Because once this bed is done, that's one thing in my day that I already accomplished. And having that feeling like, oh, dude, okay, this went great. Let's kill it today.
I like that.
Right? So that's one of the, before anything, guys, even before going to the restroom, even before anything, because what it happened before that I come back to my room and I see my bed, you know what, maybe let me just stay another 10, 15 minutes. But once the bed is done, I know for a fact, and my brain already know that, hey, dude, that bed is already done. You're done sleeping. Let's keep moving forward, right? So that's one of the things, guys. Like, put a little goal just to accomplish every single day, and you don't have to go to the extreme of waking up 5 in the morning, right? Because every life is different. You might have kids. I don't have kids. I have that advantage right now. And I quote advantage, right? Because I know kids are a blessing, but I don't have to wake up like to feed my kids or anything like that, right? But you can actually set up a goal, right? Maybe you take your kids to school, or maybe you set them up for the online school classes, right? But make yourself like a little goal, like, okay, you know what? Before they wake up, I'm going to have breakfast ready for them and everything ready to go. And that could be one of the parts. Right. Now, number 2, real quick, I do have a journal where I actually write down all my personal goals, my short-term goals, my long-term goals, something that I want to accomplish, something that I want to buy, all my goals for my YouTube channel, this podcast, my podcast. And that helps me because I'm doing 2 things, right? I'm thinking about it, but I'm also writing it down, right? Because once again, guys, you also have to put your part. And you actually have to do the work. It doesn't work if you just think about, oh, you know what? I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Okay, cool. Then what? So when I actually started my YouTube channel, Mike was one of the first ones that would every single day after every single podcast and every single video, he will send me feedback. And he'd be like, hey, dude, you know what? Good, but what if you switch your camera angle to this? Or you know what, dude? You didn't put enough footage about what you were talking about. And for the next video, I always try to better myself when it comes to that, right? But I did my research, right? I want to open a YouTube channel. Okay, so you know what I do? What it takes to open a YouTube channel. Well, how often should I be posting? What format should my profile picture? Because yes, guys, YouTube, even like when it comes to that
It's not
situation,
that
like
easy.
if it's not exactly, if it's not the format that they wanted, you cannot upload that picture for your thumbnail and everything like that. So once again, guys, this comes to all the behind the scenes work that you guys are not even aware of. It's not just like, oh, let's start a podcast and okay, cool. No, Mike did his research about the equipment. I did my research first, and then we kept the ball rolling, and now we are right here, right, talking to you guys. But once again, we attracted that to ourselves, right? I don't know if you have other tips. I'm sure you do, mine, but I that's one of the two, and I do a lot more, right? But for the sake of time, I just want to keep it short. But that's one of the few things that I actually do to start my day every single day.
Yeah, and I really like that, dude. I like the fact that you said about making the bed. And that's one thing that you can cross off the list. I think that's huge for me. I started doing a few of those things. As Chewy mentioned, about the journal. I went and I got myself a journal, and you can vouch for me, dude. I sent the message in our friends group, and I said, hey, I know this is kind of weird and it might be cheesy or corny, but do you guys journal? And Chewy right away was like, dude, I've been doing it. Like, and the reason why I do it is for the same reasons as how Chewy mentioned, because you're putting it out in the atmosphere, dude. You're putting it in the universe. You're saying these are my thoughts, but I'm physically putting them like in this world. So they're
Correct.
here. They've arrived, and it's a constant reminder to yourself when you go back and you journal, because it's accountability for yourself. Because yesterday you wrote that you were going to do X, Y, and Z. And if you didn't do X, Y, and Z, guess what? The next morning you're going to feel like shit because you didn't do that. So what are you going to do? Is now you're going to go and you're going to try even harder. Now, I think that's really big. I do journal. I started doing that. I've started reading also. I think that's also a really big thing, is really training your mind to think differently. So I started reading more positive books, more books about productivity, more books about becoming better and self-betterment. One thing that you guys don't know about me, and we've never shared this on the podcast, is that I've in recent years I've battled with my mind a lot, and I've battled with anxiety. I've battled with really, really bad anxiety and stress and depression. And although on the outside it seems like, oh, I'm this happy, funny character, on the inside I wasn't good. I wasn't doing okay. I have a beautiful family. I have a loving wife. I have a loving daughter. But on the inside, at the end of the day, I was upset. I was sad. I was depressed. So that has really helped my mental state, is reading and taking care of my mental self. Watching videos has helped me a lot.
And my boy, let me interrupt you there real quick. But once you change, tell me how your dynamic changed at home with your family.
Hugely, because now I get to enjoy the little things. Now I get to enjoy even the, if my daughter does something that she's not supposed to, it's crazy, dude, because we've mentioned it. My wife is pregnant. I'm having another little girl, and I tell my wife, I'm so scared. I'm scared that she's going to come out like a little brat and she's not going to listen, because I don't think I have it in me to be a hard ass anymore and to discipline the way that I did discipline my first daughter, because it was all that bottled up anxiety and depression, and I was taking it out on my daughter. And granted, it kind of worked. My daughter's a great behaving little girl. She's great, guys. Trust me, she's freaking awesome. But the thing is that if she does make a mistake, I don't have to be so hard on her anymore. My wife and I rarely get into arguments. We rarely fight, because I think about things in a more positive way. I try not to judge people. So that's the next thing is, I try to, and you said it earlier, I control what I can control. I can't control what everybody else is doing. I cannot control how other people think of me. I cannot control how other people do things. I cannot control what people like and what they don't like. But I can control what I think of other people, what I do with myself, what I like and what I don't like, who I want to surround myself with, who I want to be around. So those are the things that I do, and I hope that helps you if you're listening, and you're not really sure where to start. Look, just real simple. Start with how Chewy said, wake up a little bit earlier. It might not be 4:30 in the morning, might not be 5, might not be 6. Maybe you wake up at 9 a.m. every day. Try waking up at 7. Try waking up at 8. Have that alone time. You know, some people have alone time meditating. Some people have alone time with God. So I guess right now is a good time to get into that perspective of it. So the law of attraction, you might think, well, that's new age philosophy. That's weird stuff. I'm Christian. I believe in the Bible. I don't believe in that stuff. But look, guys, when it comes down to the Bible, it's not called the law of attraction, but it's in the Bible. So I'm going to prove it to you guys. The Bible mentions in Proverbs, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is, which means what you're thinking, that's who you really are. Is that not what we've been talking about? Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of your tongue. Does that not mean what you put into the atmosphere, that's what's going to happen?
Correct.
Matthew 21:22 says, whatever you ask in prayer shall be given to you. Your alone time. Spend that time in the morning by yourself, whether you have a relationship with God, whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, if you believe in the universe, if you believe in Mother Earth, whatever, Buddha, whatever you believe in, I'm not here to bash on you and tell you this is what you need to believe. Whatever you believe in, you spend that time alone with that, and you ask and you put it in the atmosphere. So now here's the big thing, dude, is that the Bible also mentions faith without action is dead. What did we just say? We said if you only think about these things and you hope to have these things and you really wish you had these things, but you never do anything about it, you're not going to get there. That's the same thing that the Bible is telling you. Faith without action is dead. You need to, if you have faith, great, that's awesome. But what are you doing with the faith that God has given you? So,
correct.
Spend time with God alone. For me, this might be weird, but for me, that's in the shower. Dude, I don't know. For me, the shower hits different. I don't know if it's my wife always tells me, ¿por qué te bañas con la luz apagada? But dude, I don't turn on the lights. I shower with the lights turned off, and I'm in the shower and I'm thinking, and I'm talking to God, and I'm thanking him, and I'm asking him for the things that I want. And now I'm writing it down. So that's big. Taking care of your physical self is another big part of it. Right. Because if you feel good inside of, or on the outside of your body, you're going to feel good on the inside of your body. Now, here's another thing, dude, is when you look good, you feel good. So I think taking care of yourself is really big in this also. And I don't know what your thoughts are about that. I know you've been going to the gym, and I've been seeing that you've been going to the gym. Both me and you have really good goals set for this year on what we want to accomplish in our physique. So talk to me a little bit about that, and then we're getting close to the end, but talk to me about that.
Yeah. So here's the thing, guys. One of my New Year's resolution, right, was to work out 313 days out of the year. Okay. And you might question, why 313? That's because I actually decided to give Sundays off just to spend it with my family, right? But that's actually one of the other reasons that I actually wake up super early, because I do a lot of stuff through my day, guys. If I'm not at work, I'm meeting with a client that wants a photo shoot or wants me to do their wedding, or I'm doing my shirts, or I'm doing I'm doing 1,000 things, right? But that's why I decided to wake up early. But the reason that I'm posting into social media, it's because I want to do myself accountable for my goals. Like Mike said, and like how we've been saying the whole podcast, like words and actions come together, right? So if I just throw out there like, hey, yeah, guys, you know what? I'm gonna work out 313 days out of the year. Okay, cool. But I'm not doing anything. Like that's like not okay, guys. That's why I decided to post every single day. Okay, you know what? Workout number, whatever, out of 313, right? And that's what I do every single time that I work out, because I want to make myself accountable to my goals and what I want to accomplish, right? But it's so funny, Mike, that you mentioned like you take the shower without like with the lights off. But just guys, to give you the other perspective, right? And you mentioned something real big, Mike. It's that maybe you don't believe in God. Maybe you believe on, I don't know, another divine energy, right? And stuff like that. It doesn't have to be God for whatever you believe, right? But you do believe in something. But for example, when I take a shower, that's where most of my ideas come through.
Yes, dude.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's so funny. I don't know if it's because you're more relaxed and everything like that you actually the idea just flow. And after that, immediately because this little book, it's always like right here besides my bed. And it happens before that I wake up in the middle of the night with an idea and then I just write it down.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, I'm like, okay, you know what? Okay, maybe I can do this with this idea. Right. But and that's why we keep saying this, guys, if you don't put the effort and if you don't actually continue that idea, it's not going to happen. And then I'm going to give you a real quick example, Mike. When I moved to Phoenix, I went like a week before to look for apartments. And I really liked this apartment. And you actually went to that apartment, guys. No kidding. It was like my dream apartment. I had 2 freaking lakes. I had 2 freaking lakes in my apartment complex, right? But for whatever reason, it was like a day before I actually had to leave to Phoenix and move my stuff. And the apartments, like, they were not reaching out. I was like, damn, I'm going to be without an apartment. I have to be there by Monday. What am I going to do? And no kidding, guys. And I remember this because I was in the drive-thru of Popeyes buying food because it was my last lunch at that store here in El Paso. And I was like, you know what, dude? I was like, okay, God, just send me a sign. Send me a sign if I gonna get this apartment. If not, I can start looking for other apartments. No kidding. And dude, I have goosebumps right now. But after I said that, like 5-10 seconds passed by, dude, and my phone rang.
No.
And it was the lady from the apartments, dude. No kidding, guys. I promise you, with I can sign with blood. It was the lady from my apartment, and it was like, you know what, Chewy? They're taking long to approve your application. I don't know what's going on with the district manager, but I decided to override him, and I'm just going to approve you for the apartment. I'm going to send you all the documents via email. Just sign in, and you're good to go.
That's awesome, dude.
I was like, what the heck? Like, dude, and once again, guys, when you think about it, it doesn't mean that you're going to get it right away, right? I knew that I was moving to Arizona like a month before that. And constantly I was thinking like, yeah, I want that apartment. And what I did, I actually took my mom with me over there. It was like for a weekend. We went to the apartments. We walked through the apartment, the apartment complex. We went to my store over there in Phoenix. Like, I did my work, right, and my research about, okay, I want to accomplish this in Phoenix. And then, like I said, guys, a few days before, they called me and, you know what, Cherry? Okay, this is your apartment. But once again, it works differently for a lot of us, right? It's not going to happen from one day to another, but you actually have to put in the work and you have to actually throw it out there to the universe in order for that idea, energy, everything combines together and they can go ahead and give it to you.
Right. And that's big time, dude, because I think I've been a very strong believer of everything happens with purpose. And if something is for you, it's for you. And that
Correct.
just alone proves it. And my final thought on this, dude, is I think one important piece is trusting your gut. Trust what your gut tells you, because so many times you don't even know it, but your innermost self knows what it's telling you. And whether, like Chewy said, whether that's the voice for me, it's the voice of the Holy Spirit. You know, that's what I believe in. It's telling me this is what I want you to do. This is what you need to do. It's also my wife. She's very, very, very good at discernment and really what she feels. And I follow her guidance a lot, because she'll tell me, you know, I don't feel peace about this. I feel peace about that. So here's the thing, guys, is trust your gut. Look, what does that mean? If you're in a toxic relationship and you know for a fact, even though you love this individual as much as to the world and back, but you know that it's not good for you. It doesn't have to be boyfriend, girlfriend. It could be a friendship. It could be whatever it is.
Correct.
But if you're in a relationship that's not good for you, and you know if you separate yourself from that relationship, it's going to make you a better person, then trust your gut and do it.
Correct.
And for me, that was a very hard thing for me to do. As I mentioned to you guys earlier, I spent 11 years in this one place, and it took a lot for me to detach myself from that church that I was attending. But I can tell you that I knew that's what my gut was telling me. It was telling me that it was time to go. We're done here. Let's do this new journey. And if I would have not listened to my gut, dude, I would still be stuck in El Paso. I would still be not doing this for sure. I would still be,
For sure.
you know, a very judgmental person. I would still be full of fear and full of anxiety and depression. And guys, my life isn't perfect. It's far from perfect. I am not where I want to be, career-wise, personal-wise. I'm not where I want to be. But you know what? I'm so damn proud of where I've come and how far I've made it, and the things that I have now, that I can sit with that peace of knowing that if I trusted my gut and I made the changes that I needed to make in my life to get to where I wanted to get to, and this is where we are now. So going forward, who knows where we go? The only place we can go is up, because that's where I want to go. I want to take this podcast to the next level. I want to take my career to the next level. I want to take my finances to the next level. And the only way to do it is to put it out in the atmosphere, work towards it, and stay consistent.
And then, guys, once you actually understand how, if you want to call it freaking equation works, you can do amazing things, guys, with your thoughts, your mind, your hard work.
Exactly.
But once again, once you combine everything together, guys, the limit is the sky, and you guys won't understand. And like Mike said, like we are not perfect. Like we have our ups and downs and everything. But now that we understand a little bit of how that works, like it's amazing how our life changed. Like it's completely amazing, guys. And if you guys have questions about this topic, or if you guys just related to this podcast, feel free to contact at our Instagram page, Todos con Todos. Like, send us a DM and be like, hey, guys, like, I have a question about this. How do you guys relate to this? Because this is what's going on with my life, right? We're not experts, but we're going to try to help you as much as possible with this topic and other topics that we can discuss, because once again, we'll be saying this is the beginning, but I promise you guys the topics are going to get a little more intense, podcast after podcast, and I'm sure you guys already already have that feeling, because this podcast was way different than the podcast before, right? But we don't want to make this super long again. But this is gonna be in two parts, right? If you guys are watching this one, this is the second part already. But once again, guys, we are encouraging you to actually go to the channel, subscribe, share the podcast, share the content, share our Instagram page, everything that you can. Trust me, guys, that is going to help us a lot with our channel. Right, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And as Tree mentioned, whatever questions you have, whatever comments, whatever feedback, please let us know. If you want to shoot us a DM, do so. And if you're watching this episode and you think, what the heck are they talking about the first part, that means you didn't watch last week's episode. Click we're going to put it in the description. Click in the description. Yes. There's going to be a link for last week's episode. Watch last week's episode so you get the full gist of what we're talking about. But yeah, guys, this was fun. Again, as Tree mentioned, very different from the other topics that we've had, a little bit more serious. And yes, as he did mention, there are a lot of really awesome topics coming in the future. You got a little glimpse of what we might be talking about down the road. I have a lot of interesting stories. Chewy has a lot of interesting stories. But yeah, we mentioned to you guys in the very first episode, it's not always going to be funny. It's not always going to be comedy. It'll be some serious things, some serious topics. This was definitely one of those series where it was a very serious series. But whether you guys have been watching our episodes from day one or whether you haven't, whether this episode gets 1 view or whether it gets 400 views, one thing I guarantee you guys is we'll be back next week. We will give it our all. You will see, not perfection, you will see excellence in everything that we do, because that's how bad we want it. And thank you so much for watching, Chewy. It's always a pleasure, dude, to talk to you. It's always fun doing this with you. So thanks so much. And guys, I can't say this enough. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Chewy, you got anything for us?
No, just that's it, guys. Thank you. Thank you for coming back, and just stay tuned. One thing, guys, real quick. And once again, we've been saying this a lot, but if you watch the video and don't like, that's not going to help us. So please watch the video and like the video and follow the channel. That's going to be big for us, because once again, guys, YouTube is going to put us up there in order for our content to be out there a little bit more. And the bigger this channel gets, the more opportunity that we can go ahead and put more content out there, right? And that's going to help us a lot. But Mike, always a pleasure. I'll see you next week.
Dude, and I was just going to quickly say before we close it out, if you have any questions, guys, in regards to how to do any of that on YouTube, I swear it's not a stupid or funny or dumb question. Ask us genuinely. I'll share a short story. I'm not going to say their names, but they somebody hit me up and they were like, "Hey, I watched your episode. It was so awesome. It was great." And I said, "Oh, awesome. Did you like it? Because there's only 1 like on the video, and that was me." And they were like, "No, I did like it." And I'm like, "No, but did you actually physically like it?" And they're like, "What do you mean? I liked the video." I'm telling you, I liked it. And I'm like, "No, there's a like button." So guys, yes, there is a like button. It's down here. Click it right here. Click the like button. Subscribe, as Tree mentioned. Turn on your post notifications so you know when we post. And as always, please make sure to leave us any comments or any feedback. We love to hear from you guys. But again, guys, you have been watching another episode of Todos con Todos. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you guys next week. And thanks you. We appreciate you guys. Peace.
Later, guys.